Hey everyone, this is Tracy, and today I'm super excited to interview Jon Stojan, who is with Tokelau Coffee. It's like this really cool little keto coffee with MCT oils, but I don't want to ruin it. I'll let him explain it to you.
Welcome to the Be Well, Be Keto podcast, where we showcase ordinary people who have achieved extraordinary results. Your host is the high energy girl, Tracy Gluhite.
So, hi Jon. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you were before you found keto, and just give us a little history.
Hey Tracy, yeah, thanks for inviting me on. I started my keto journey probably about 2 years ago, and what really led me to it was I've been in the Air Force for about 12 years now. I was active duty for 4 years, and then I've been in the reserves for about the last 8. So I've always had to be in shape. But my family's also had a late onset diabetes that my dad had, my grandfather had. And so really started looking at how I wanted to be healthier and really sensitive towards insulin, and kind of having that typical guy attitude, and especially being in the military, thought that I could fix the problem by working out more. I actually trained and ran a marathon and did a bunch of other things, but finally, after about 6 months of trying different workouts and that type of stuff, discovered that you just can't really outrun a bad diet. And so I started looking at different options, and I found keto. And within a couple of months, I'd lost over 40 pounds. So that was, it was amazing. And I've, always been in good shape physically as far as having worked out, because we have to take a fitness test at least once a year. But just what keto could do for my body initially was just so amazing that I wanted to really learn more about it and dive deep into it, like I have over the last couple of years. And now I'm, really excited to be a part of the community with Tokelau Coffee, and kind of helping the community, and really excited about not only what it does for your body, but learning a lot more about what it does for your mind as well.
I can't believe you lost 40 pounds in 2 months.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 months. It was
Wow.
It was pretty incredible. And I think probably the most important thing for me is looking long term is not only is that that's great, but I've been able to keep that off for 2 years now, and it's not a big struggle. And I think that's one thing that I found with kind of the healthy fats lifestyle and with keto that's very different from a lot of the other programs that are out there is that it really works really well with your body. And once you're going down that stream with your body, it's not something that that you have to have a constant battle with. And that's what I really love about keto for the body aspect. But then also, I think it does a lot of things to help us mentally as well.
Right. Oh yeah. That's what they say, that when they go on a fast, that they can really focus on their work and stuff. So I prefer it now so much more than before. So tell me, how did you actually find it?
How did I actually find keto?
Uh-huh.
I kind of worked my way into it. I started out with slow carb, where I really started cutting a lot of my carbohydrates, and I saw some progress with that. But it wasn't and I was noticing that as I cut my carbs, that I was seeing better and better results. And then finally, I actually ran across a podcast that I think had Dr. Don D'Agostino on it, that was talking about some of the benefits of the ketogenic diet. I did some research on it because I'm an avid researcher, and kind of the pros and cons of it, and just said, you know what, I'm going to do an N of 1 to see how this works for me, especially from for me, what was really interesting was the insulin perspective, because knowing that I have that family history of type 2 adult onset diabetes, that I didn't want to be back in that place of taking insulin when I was 40. And so just learning about that piece of it was super important. And so like I said, I tried keto, and I'll be honest, the first week or two, I was like, man, what am I doing? Because there was definitely an adaptation with that. But once I was over that first week or two, for lack of a better term, I was hooked. And like I said, I've been on it for the last 2 years pretty consistently. I will say that I've had once or twice where, I've been on a trip from the military or something like that where I've been off keto, and I can notice such a big difference, both physically and mentally, that to me it's a no-brainer at this point.
So you said it was difficult at the beginning. Was it just like keto flu things, or you like mentally missed your carbs? What was the biggest struggle?
I think the two biggest things for me is, one, I had some of that more the lethargy that you get with keto for some folks when you first start out, because when you're kind of kicking over from using glucose to then using ketones for fuel, I had a little bit of that where I was kind of groggy. But then I think the other thing is that also I'm a sugar addict to a certain extent, and a sweets addict, and I think that was probably the hardest portion of it, to realize that that was being driven by other things in my body, and that it was important for me to let go of that piece, because in the long term it was going to do so much damage to my body, especially for someone that kind of has the family history that I do.
And did you use keto treats to help you get over those cravings?
Absolutely. Yep. So that was probably one of the biggest things, in that process, I also taught myself how to cook more keto, including making different keto treats and getting into MCTs. And that's actually kind of how I got into Tokelau Coffee, was because I really liked the boost that MCTs gave me. But, I have 2 young kids, and I know that, a lot of other people are busy too. And so I said, well, how can I make this a lot simpler? And so Tokelau Coffee, of putting it into a K-cup, so that way you can just pop it into a Keurig like I have at work,